we have a vision. And as far as the rural world is concerned, our vision is clear. From the first days, we have insisted on why we are fighting. Our fight is to see another Burkina, because we have a dream. And we have said that our fight will only stop when all the children of this country will eat their fill.
This is the journey to One Africa.
J'ai longtemps souhaité cette rencontre. Comme le ministre le disait si bien,
I have long wanted this meeting. As the minister said, we have a vision. And as far as the rural world is concerned, our vision is clear. From the first days, we have insisted on why we are fighting. Our fight is to see another Burkina, because we have a dream. And we have said that our fight will only stop when all the children of this country will eat their fill. I think we are not wrong. Events show us that putting this dream into action allows us to realize this dream. I think that even when someone is sick, they go to the infirmary, and when they are prescribed food, they are often told to eat first before taking the food. I think that food is the first medicine, the first remedy. For a long time, I think we have forgotten about the rural world. Today, all these soldiers, these VDPs who are fighting on the front, are to free the land, to allow these peasants, these farmers, to vacate their occupations. And it is still through you that the merchants who enter the small villages to get the harvest and bring it back to the city also have activity. Insecurity has put an end to all these activities. People can no longer produce. The farmers, their cattle are forced to leave. They often leave their cattle in the bush, which becomes semi-wild animals, if I may say so. These merchants who came to the bottom of the bush and walked in the villages no longer have a place. 90% of the activities are therefore affected by this insecurity. This is our first fight, but through this fight, we are also fighting so that 85% of the agricultural world, as we said, the proportion of Burkina Faso, 85% are rural people, can resume their activities. And it's a whole chain. The more the activities work well in the bottom of the villages, the more the merchants who make these ships can also have activities. We know a little about the problems of the rural world, and from our position, we have learned a lot of things. I don't know why a country like Burkina Faso should import food waste. It's difficult to understand, because we have land, we have water, on the surface as well as underground. We have potential. Are we sufficiently organized? Is the rural world sufficiently supported to be able to satisfy this? Or is it also the case that some individuals are pleased with the import, to the detriment of what we can produce on the spot? There are many questions to ask. I also talked to the Minister of Higher Education. And I understood that our researchers have already found so many things that we don't apply, because maybe we prefer to import instead of producing for our brave peasants, to give them some varieties that allow us to reach this food self-sufficiency. So to our technical and financial partners, we say thank you. But we also tell them that the effort is not just to support or support. But I want the effort to go beyond that. That when we don't properly use the knowledge that is given to us, that we are not supported. We have the impression that every time there is money for the rural world. But what do we do with this money? Is the rural world really supported? Does the partner manage to go to the end, to see if people really benefit from what is given to them? I wish that the mechanism, when we are granted subsidies, grants or loans, that we can follow. We will say that we will go beyond a certain aspect. But for me, this situation should not even happen. There are states in the world that donate to the Burkina Faso. They don't even have land, that don't have a surface like the one we have. It is the Burkina Faso that should donate to them, and not the other way around. Whether it is stealing cattle or stealing fish, we have potential in terms of protein. I talked to some researchers and I understood that we could create forests to allow more professional grazing. Because I think that in terms of the environment, there is what they call agroforestry, which allows these animals that we raise to have the necessary nutrition to grow very quickly, and that there is no conflict with this rural world. These researchers who found these plants that resist a lot to drought, at least in certain climatic conditions, are they encouraged Is it implemented? No. The varieties of corn, rice and all kinds of speculations that interest us a lot have been found to adapt to our climate, but they are not encouraged. It is not popularized, it is not maintained. As we go along, we discover little by little the problems that the rural world poses. We wish to be able to remedy these problems. The problem of land is at the level of the rural world. The agro-businessmen, there are many who have taken land, but do not value it. There are many areas where you arrive, you plow, you land. But people do not want us to tackle this problem. When you take land, you have to invest. We will also encourage our economic operators. We have already said that we will find all possible ways so that they can invest in agriculture, in livestock. There is no reason for us to continue to import. We have to invest with these producers to produce and export. It is not for us to import. So there is a mentality to change. We are already fighting for this. Whether it is around our cities, the horizontal urban model is not good. Several arable lands around our cities have been found to be cities, while we could use them for agriculture, to produce, to feed the people of the city. Because of poverty, many have sold their land and are now without arable land. They are sitting and do not know what to do. This is a problem that must be faced with courage. We have started to face it. There is certainly a lot of grit in it, as we like to say. There will be a lot of manipulation, but we are here for a mission. We are going to accomplish the mission. This is all that remains for us to do. When we went to the university, we understood a lot of things. There are universities with staff of 40,000 to 50,000 students. There are about 10,000 places to serve. What do the others do? While we can produce and allow them to feed and study properly. Because it is from there that these researchers come, who find each time varieties that can adapt to the climatic hazards that we often know. Everything is possible. Today, with this insecurity, we are recruiting a lot. We will continue to recruit as much as necessary to face it. But as I said earlier, at some point, the army will also be part of this rural world, because we will have a production army. The war will necessarily lower temperatures. Because if it takes 1 million men, we will kill each other. I insist a lot because I have a particular attachment to the rural world. This meeting, at some point, with the events of the last few days, we had in the meantime the idea to suspend to focus on a number of things. But it is necessary. It is necessary that we see each other, that we speak to each other, and that the rural world also understands our vision.
Il y a beaucoup de zones où vous y arrivez, c'est borné, c'est posé. Mais les gens ne veulent pas qu'on s'attaque à ces problèmes. Lorsque vous prenez des terres, il va falloir investir. Nous allons aussi encourager nos opérateurs économiques. Nous les avons déjà dit. Nous allons trouver les manières, toutes les manières possibles pour qu'ils puissent investir dans l'agriculture, dans l'élevage. Il n'y a pas de raison que nous continuions à importer. Nous devons investir avec donc, ces producteurs-là pour produire et exporter. Ce n'est pas à nous d'importer. Donc il y a une mentalité à changer. Nous nous battons déjà pour cela. Que ce soit autour de nos villes, le modèle urbaniste horizontal, il n'est pas bien. Plusieurs terres arables autour de nos villes donc, se sont retrouvées être des cités, pendant qu'on pouvait l'utiliser pour de l'agriculture, pour produire, pour nourrir ces gens de la ville. Par le fait de la pauvreté, beaucoup ont vendu leurs terres et se retrouvent aujourd'hui sans terre cultivable. Ils sont assis, ils ne savent plus à quel sens se vouer. C'est un problème qu'il faut affronter avec courage. Nous avons commencé à affronter. Il y a certes beaucoup de grincements de dents, comme on aime le dire. Il y aura beaucoup de manipulations, mais nous sommes là pour une mission. Nous allons accomplir la mission. C'est tout ce qu'il nous reste à faire. Lorsque nous sommes passés à l'université, nous avons compris beaucoup de choses. Il se trouve des universités avec des effectifs de 40 000 à 50 000 étudiants, mais il y a environ 10 000 places servies. Les autres, qu'est-ce qu'ils font? Pendant que nous pouvons produire et les permettre de se nourrir et d'étudier correctement. Parce que c'est de là-bas que viennent ces chercheurs qui trouvent chaque fois des variétés qui puissent permettre de s'adapter aux aléas climatiques que nous connaissons souvent. Tout est possible. Aujourd'hui, avec cette insécurité, nous sommes en train de recruter beaucoup. Nous continuerons de recruter autant qu'il faut pour faire face. Mais je le disais tantôt, à un moment donné, l'armée aussi fera partie donc, de ce monde rural parce que nous aurons une armée de production. La guerre va forcément baisser les températures parce que s'il faut 1 million d'hommes, nous recruterons cela. J'insiste beaucoup parce que j'ai un attachement particulier au monde rural. Cette rencontre, à un moment donné, donc, avec les événements de ces derniers jours, nous avions eu entre-temps l'idée de suspendre pour nous concentrer sur un certain nombre de choses, mais c'est nécessaire. C'est nécessaire qu'on se voit, qu'on se parle et que le monde rural